So, yesterday I spoke about war. In my video, I mentioned war. And as a society, as a civilization, we have come to look at war as something that's happening outside of us, something that is an outward projection where there is bloodshed and there's bombs and missiles and guns and there's lives that are lost, and war is always looked as two people at war. There's never one, there's always two. And it's an outward projection. Like, whenever, like, let's forget about a mass scale massacre kind of war. Let's talk about when we say two people are at war. We always think like we are at war with the person outside, whether it's your mother that you're fighting, whether it's your partner that you're fighting, whether it's divorces that are happening, whether it's friendships that are falling out. Everything that's happening as a war, as a fight, as a battle, is outside. And we always, as human beings, try to find a projection outside of ourselves. So we can say, it was because of so and so. It was they did so and so behavior. It was them. It is this person triggered that in me. It is Hamas triggered it in Israel, and Israel triggered it in Hamas, and my best friend triggered this in me, and my partner triggered it in me, and it's all outside. But the real war is actually happening inside. It's in your heart that the real war is happening. You're at war with yourself when you're fighting with someone outside. And this war that happens within could be many reasons. One of the biggest lessons I have learned in 2023 is that, and call it my intellectual vanity, a term that my friend recently just brought on the surface of my mind, is I come from an upbringing and a family of readers, and I have always read. And what reading does is, when you become a reader, it gives you education. Reading is a form of education. And I, even though I have been actively creative, my right side of the brain has been active. Most of my life I have operated from the left side of my brain. Most of my life I have been a survivor. I've just been trying to survive situations and circumstances beyond my control. So I've always been somebody who's operating from that side of her brain. And I have always been very analytical about everything. Like, even when I don't want to be, my brain just automatically starts processing even feelings and situations in an analytical way. There's a judge that exists in me that continues to be holding everything in like this kind of judge versus sage. Discernment has often been replaced by judgment. Or like, it would be a very long video if I went into the depths of it, like where it starts from, and it might surface in other videos that I continue to post. But what I'm trying to say is that you're at war with yourself when you're fighting outside. And most of us are actually aware of that when we are fighting outside. We are aware of the war that we are fighting inside when we are fighting outside. What I have learned and understood from my personal experience is that a lot of times when a person is at war with themselves and they are maybe fighting it outside, what they're looking for is help. Most of my fights have been actually a cry for help. I found myself to be a very empathetic and agreeable person. I found myself to be very thoughtful, sometimes beyond, and very committed and very steadfast. And then I have found myself being extremely difficult or really pushing back. And I push back, or I kind of start a fight where maybe there would be none. And I say it in my first, like as a first person, so it doesn't go to anybody else but comes back to me, is that when I start a fight, I have always, 100 out of 100 times started that fight because I don't know how to ask for help, or because I tried to ask for help but I did not receive it, because I needed support and I didn't get it, because maybe sometimes I need more support. And what I'm trying to say is that let's just like project that and look at what is happening outside. The other person who's also engaging in a fight might also be needing some help inside. Aren't we all in need of help? Wouldn't these wars be of better outcomes if they were approached from a space of how can we help? If any pushback is approached from a space of how can I help? And one of the things that has always held me back from being the person who can give that, like how can I help in a situation where someone might be pushing back on me, is when it triggers something in me, which is where my um, which is where my trauma or my grief might lie. I genuinely believe that the purpose to want to have difficult conversations and to go work towards healing comes not only from my own journey and my own need and fulfillment from that journey, but also from my closest loved ones in whom I have seen the need for this. And then the outward projections that you see in the world of the wars that are happening, of the people that are dying, of the grief that we are accumulating as a civilization. We are accumulating grief. If 500 years later, if human life still exists on Earth and we are reading back about this time, it would be that what did they leave behind? A lot of grief. I really want that our future generations don't have to carry forward that generational trauma. So I wish to continue to keep posting and keep sharing my thoughts, and I hope you will listen to them and share your feedback and share what else would you like me to talk about and discuss with you.